Hi everyone. Today we are going to learn about um, identifying outliers through interquartile range method. So how to do that? Let's see. So suppose I have the data in this format. So let's copy the data into a different sheet. So now, so to calculate interquartile range, what is done first is to sort the data ascending. So we sorted the data in ascending order. Now we identify the first quartiles, that is Q1. So first quartile is the middle two values if it is a even number of records in the first half. So this is the first half, right? So this is like quarter two, and then this is the quarter three. So we have total 12 values. So we have to take the middle two values for each calculating each quarter. So now the middle two values is this. So the average of these two, let's see. Similarly, the average of um, these two, and then the average of the third quarter. So now the interquartile range or IQR is the value, the difference between Q3 and Q1. So how the upper control limit is calculated is the Q3 value plus the multiplier, which we are taking as 1.5 for this case, multiplied by the interquartile range. Similarly, the lower control limit is calculated by subtracting the multiplier multiplied by the interquartile range from the Q1 value. So this is our lower control limit. This is our upper control limit. So now if we see that these two values appears to be outliers, and probably this value appears to be an outlier. Now, this is outlier detection. Now, how will it substitute? It is the same as we have seen earlier. So if we are going to take the average, so the average is 137. So these two values will be substituted by the average value. Whereas if we are going to take the tolerance limit, so then these two values will be substituted by these two values. This tolerance, the lower control limit value, and this will be replaced by the upper control limit value. And if we are to exclude the outliers in the calculation of the average, then we get the average as 144. So excluding outliers, average will be 144. So now go to this, and we have the forecast model as set to interquartile range with 1.5 with correct, and let's start with mean and include outliers. And we'll have the input as actuals quantity adjusted, and then the result will be saved in this key figure. Right? Let's go to the interface. So this is empty, and now let's run the stat forecast job. Select this, and we are running for that particular product. Run. Okay, let's refresh. So what we are doing is we are replacing with mean, right? So it identified this value as an outlier, this value as an outlier. So let's color code them. And it has identified this value as outlier. So we will see that it has replaced those values with a mean. Right? So 137 is the mean. It has replaced. Now what we will do is, and we have seen that these are the values it had identified in our example, right? So if we go back to our example, so these two were the outliers, and this was the outlier. So this, and this value was the outlier, right? And then they got replaced by the mean. Now we will change the algorithm to be correction with tolerance, and we'll save this into this key figure. Okay, fresh. So again, these three are identified as outliers, and we see that the data that being substituted is different than in these two methods. So let's see if this was as expected.